So, first trip out of the bush for 6 months. You'll find out another video. I had to go back to the UK, got caught up in everything there, ended up getting COVID. I'll post a link to that video, but it was a nightmare and had to be moved to a quarantine facility when I got back to New Zealand. So this one's a 2-nighter. Gonna look for a space by the river. It's pretty mild. Got a ton of gear that I want to try out. Lots of good stuff to test. So I'll come back to you when I've got the tent up, got everything unpacked, got the tarp up. I'm in my camp. It's raining on and off. I don't know if you can hear that, if you can hear the river. So what I've got, my setup here, 3F UL 4-season. I mean, it could be 4-season. It's got a 4-season inner. I'll show you later. 3F UL tunnel tent, 2-man tunnel tent. Very easy to put up. Never put it up before, but very easy. Got my 3F UL 4x3 meter tarp. One thing I learned long ago is when you're tenting and the weather's going to be bad, and you know the weather's going to be bad, and I think we've got 3 inches of rain coming between now and 48 hours. So I know that having a tent in the rain is horrible. It's a horrible experience, and you're just stuck inside, and it's a bit muggy. It's not cold. I think it's 16 degrees centigrade. Not cold at all. So I wanted to have an outdoor area I could just chill in, and I've got tons of space. I might clear this area here a bit more. I'm gonna put a fire right here to cook my dinner on. I've got some lovely rump steak, potatoes, onions, sort of stuff. Got some beers to enjoy with it. The sandflies are out. A couple of other pieces of gear that I'll be showing you later. My Corinthia Defense 1 top. I think that's good down to about 4 degrees centigrade, which is more than enough for now, for what I'm doing here, because it's February here, so it's sort of coming to the end of summer. I've also got my Thermarest, I don't know if it's uber light or it's just light, inflatable bag, and that's about it. I've got some other gear that you'll probably see when I'm chopping up the wood. I've got my Agua Boreal 21 saw, I've got my Fiskars axe, and I've got my Tacoma knife. This is a Tacoma Tops knife. It's an amazing piece of kit. And if you haven't got your axe, or you're desperate, you can chop quite a lot of wood with this. It's got a lot of weight behind it. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. My location is where I actually did my hammock, my first hammock location, which is between these 2 trees here. It's all grown up a bit more because I did that sort of end of winter, and now it's summer, so everything's shot up. So I need to clear a lot of this brackeny stuff to chill out, because I'm going to do 48 hours here. And happy to have you along with me. There are wasps everywhere. I don't know if you know, but New Zealand has the highest concentration of wasps in the world. And the Nelson Forest, which is where I am now, Nelson Lakes National Park, is the highest concentration within New Zealand. And they are absolutely everywhere. I did scout around to make sure there wasn't a wasp nest nearby, because you don't want to camp right next to a wasp nest. And there wasn't, so they tend to leave you alone. If you don't bother them, they don't bother you. So I'm not worried about the wasps. They might come out later when I've got food, I don't know. The sandflies are pretty vicious at the moment. Other than that, I've just got to crack on, chop this wood up for later. It gets dark around 8:30, so I want to have my dinner before that. I've got a grill to put it on, and have a couple of beers, a cigar, and a drop of whiskey. All right. I'll come back to you later when I've got dinner on the go. Or actually I might, well, you know, so many people record themselves chopping up wood, but I always find that incredibly boring. So I won't bother showing that. I'll see you when I've got either a fire going or I'm going to review some of the gear. Actually, to be honest, reviewing the gear, I might as well wait and do that when I'm in the tent tomorrow morning or this evening. Catch you later. Got my Viscas X7 hatchet. Temperatures drop. Got my breath now. Maybe 10 degrees. Wow, so good. Cheers. Man, that's a big steak. Smoke. Ah. So, as I said, I was in the UK for 6 months, or 5.5 months. I was looking after my dad, who has terminal cancer, and a little family here. Camera just fell off. Do that again. So as I was saying before, I was in the UK for 6 months, looking after my dad, who has terminal cancer. And I was there quite a while. Part of the problem and the reason I had to come back is there are only so many places in the quarantine system. You have to have a voucher in New Zealand to get back in the country. This means you've got to book this voucher, and there's now, or it was at the time and still is I think, a 3-month waiting list. What that means is you can't miss that one. So I booked it to be back in time for my birthday. Now, I couldn't afford to miss it. I wouldn't have got another one for 3 months. I had to get that. 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks before my flight was due to leave, my dad and I got COVID. We probably got it from his carers, his nurses. I've been very, very careful to isolate, be away from them. But it just happened. The reason I found out was one night I didn't feel right. I got a fever, a strong fever, but a headache like I've never had before. And I had diarrhea. The headache was something else. It was just excruciating. And I didn't want to take any medication because I wanted to let the fever run its course. I wanted to let the fever do its job, which I did, and it did. So that first night was pretty bad. Felt better, much better during the day. Then got another mild fever the next day. And that was pretty much it. Bit of shortness of breath, occasional cough, but that was it. But to catch the flight, you had to pass a COVID test. And if you've had COVID, you can test positive for weeks, sometimes months. So I had a dilemma. I had to get that flight. I could not get that flight. I couldn't stay in the UK another 3 months. Another 3 months of lockdown, another 3 months of not being with my family, my wife and my son at home and my dog. I had to get it. It was very depressing. It was a very grim situation. So I took the test. It was a home test. That's right. You can order a home test, and it's a legitimate pre-flight test. I just did a basic, very mild swab. I did not do 15 seconds deep and blah blah blah. I just didn't do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I did a test. Now, the test came back negative. And my last day of isolation was the day before my flight. Then, on the eve of my flight, 10 o'clock at night, my flight was going to be 9 p.m. the next day. So I had this whole plan of hanging out with my dad, a lot of jobs in the house to finish. 10 o'clock at night, a headline popped up that the UK had banned all flights from Dubai. And I was flying Emirates via Dubai. I was like, oh my God. So I quickly checked, and sure enough, my flight was cancelled. So then I panicked and called Emirates. Luckily, I saw the headline straight away, so I must have been one of the first to call Emirates. and managed to get on the 9 a.m. flight that next morning, which meant I was leaving home at 6 a.m. but I was on my flight. But my goodbye to Dad was horrible, horrible, very upsetting, because it wasn't the goodbye that I thought it would be. So then I got to New Zealand, and on the way back I wore the mask. I was very, very careful, you know. But I got to New Zealand. I didn't have any symptoms, so I answered honestly, no, I have no symptoms. Went straight to the Crown Plaza facility, which is an isolation facility. It's a hotel converted just for people coming in. Then I had my day 0 test. And the day 0 test result came back 2 days later, positive. I got the phone call, oh, you're positive. So we're going to move you to the quarantine facility. And that was that. I spent the rest of the time at the Jetpark Hotel in Auckland, quarantine facility, chilling out, relaxing, good food, great people, a couple of incidents that I might mention in the other video. But it was pretty good, pretty easy going. So in this video, that's all I'm going to say about that. It's pretty upsetting, and that's also why I haven't done any videos for 6 months. I haven't been out in the bush. This is my first trip back into the bush, and I really needed this to just clear the head, get back to nature, just do what I love. I couldn't bring Bruce with me this time, my dog. Just didn't work out properly. But next time I'll bring him. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So my potatoes are almost done. Steak's done, just keeping it warm. Not cooking here, it's just staying warm. Rain's died down. Well, I don't know what's going on with the rain. I've got a feeling it's going to chuck down in the middle of the night. A nightmare. Tell you what though, I am missing my dog, Bruce. Oh, he would love it here, but he would be drenched, he'd be a nightmare, and he'd be just soaked. He might even get stung because there's wasps everywhere, but he would love it. There's a big bank right here at the back, and there are deer walking through. Saw one as I was putting the tent up. deer came to sort of check me out, see what I was doing. There'll be deer tonight, definitely. There's sign everywhere. Saw a couple of hunters come down the stream earlier. Said hi. Hopefully no one takes a shot while I'm here. Meant to identify your target. I didn't bring my rifle with me. Because I just wanted to enjoy nature this time, you know, chill out. Don't need to hunt for anything. Don't need any venison right now, steak. Look at that. Bad boy. Beautiful. One way to cut your tongue off. Tops to Homer field knife. It is massive. It looks big, I know. It's bigger than it looks when you're holding it in your hand. I've got big hands. So many features. I'm not going to go through it. Look it up. Tops to Homer. It's a proper field knife. Proper everything knife. So many options, functions. Not cheap, but boy, is it an all-round good knife. Pants I'm wearing, by the way, are Fuel Raven V Pro. Very good. I treated them before I came out with some nip wax. As far as I can tell, it held the water out pretty well. They're not waterproof, but they're pretty good. Not bad at all. Very rugged. Yeah, great pants. I like the way they clip onto the boots. Keeps them on the boot all the time. So I don't know if you can see the steak, but I think it's ready to go. Oh yes. Oh, she's looking great. Oh yeah. That looks good. Yeah. I might give it another 5 more minutes. But oh my god. It's so juicy. Oh, delicious. That steak is oh yes. Whoop. Oh, that was close. Steak, rump steak. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh. So good. I'm back where I belong. That is good. Cheers. Voyager IPA. And here's a shout out to Dave in London. Wish you were here, Dave. Family. You guys made it bearable. Thanks for taking me in. You're my second family. Really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you. I wish Bruce was here to help me with this. He'd love it, but it's chucking down rain again. The light's starting to go. I don't know what time it is. It's starting to get dark. You probably can't tell in the camera. Definitely settling in the weather. Gonna piss down tonight. It's gonna be great. I haven't set my sleeping bag up. Or anything. It's all in the tent, ready to set up. I just couldn't be bothered yet. The rain. I've got a feeling I'm going to be hot tonight because this has got a 4-season inner. Time for a cigar. Cheers. Hard to explain just how good this feels. A cigar, a beer, a good dinner, out here in the rain, not getting wet, under my tarp. Life really doesn't get much better. Everything I need. I hold a lot of gear in, but I have absolutely everything I need. Just listening to the sound of the stream. Perfect. Oh, and there's no mobile signal here at all. No cell coverage. So you can't even check your phone. Perfect, unplugged. Romeo and Julieta. Lovely cigar. Tomorrow night I've got a Monte Cristo number 5. Smaller. Lovely as well. Love my cigars. Finish my beer. Cheers. End of my beer. was a good beer. It was a good IPA. I don't mind if it rains all night. Love the rain. When I've got shelter. Oh, another piece of mission critical equipment is the camp chair. If you suffer from any sort of bad back, painful back, sore like that, this is so comfy. It's so nice to be off the ground. You don't get comfy on the ground at all. So yeah, I recommend a chair. I've just realised that this land is quite tilted. I've got a feeling, horrible feeling, I'm going to be sliding off of my sleeping pad tonight. That's the other advantage of hammocking. Doesn't matter what the ground is doing. Find 2 trees, you're sorted. This could be an uncomfortable night. Or whatever. 2 nights, because I've got 2 nights here. So we're going to go through all this again tomorrow night. Right, I'm going to save a bit of my cigar for whiskey later, but I'm going to have my hot chocolate now. Maybe a Garibaldi biscuit. Love to hear in the comments, for those of you who are still stuck around, what would you like to see me do? Anything in particular? Any piece of equipment you'd like me to test? I've got quite a bit of equipment, as you'll have seen from some of my other videos. But let me know. I'm curious if there's anything you'd like me to do, cook, next time I'm out. We're not going to get, and I do like this, we're not going to get snow conditions here for at least 3 to 4 months. So it will start getting colder, but we won't get any snow for a while. So I can't do any snow camping for quite a while. But I can do tops camping, right at the tops. Can do hammock camping. I can check the weather forecast and do more rain camping or good conditions. Jet boil, you name it. So please, comments, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to try and test out. And if anyone agrees with it or gives it a thumbs up, I'll give it a go. I don't mind. Oh, that's good. I think it's time to finish my cigar and a drop of whiskey. Bit of Glenfiddich. Everything's tidied up. I don't think you can see that, but it is tidied up. I've also got another light up here, a lantern, so I can see what I'm up to. Always bring a lantern with you. At night time it's so good. Head torch just gets boring after a while. You want to be able to take it off and just chill. Top tip, don't use matches if you can avoid for cigars. Because they impart a flavour, sulphur. Always try and use butane. Cheers. So good. So good. Wish you were here with me. Sit and have a chat. So look, I'm going to finish the cigar, have a bit more whiskey, and I'll catch up with you in the tent. All tucked in my Corinthia Defense 1 top. I think I'm going to be a bit hot. Full 4-season tent doesn't have much ventilation. Bit of mesh, tiny bit of mesh that side, lots of mesh this side, but well insulated here. I've got my phone hanging up from a hook up there. Gonna watch a movie, TV show, and I'm gonna be out of it. Got my pillow, got my Thermarest X Lite inflatable sleeping pad. I'm gonna be warm. It's just started raining again. Doesn't bother me that much. What I'll do is see you guys in the morning. See what the weather's like tomorrow. The majority of the rain is going to come down tomorrow during the day. It's been a great day. I've really enjoyed it. Needed this. Really needed it. So, unless something major happens in the middle of the night, I'll see you guys in the morning. I can't imagine there's anything gonna happen. I'm so secure, safe and sound. You know, I was just checking out the interior of this tent. I'll do a review of the tent separately. But the seam sealing on this thing is incredible. Super thick. This is a solid tent. Even the inner, the seam sealing is incredible. So I can definitely recommend 3FUL. I mean, I do have a tarp over the top, so I can't tell if it's 100% waterproof just like that. But seeing what I'm seeing here, I guess it is. Actually, I do have airflow. No, so I've left the... it's a strange wind blowing out here. I've left the outside door open just to let the air flow in, and that should suffice. Okay, unless anything happens, see you in the morning. Morning, everybody. Not the best night's sleep I've ever had.
if I'm honest. This Thermarest X-Lite matte pad, it moves a lot. You sort of end up wobbling on it, which is not great. The Carinthia sleeping bag, Defense 1, I found it pretty constrictive, pretty tight. Even as a mummy bag for military, you know, I'd have thought it was a bit too tight. Maybe I need the large version. I think this is the medium version. Anyway, all I did was completely unzip it, turn it over and use it as a quilt. Which worked perfectly well. In these temperatures as well, it's fine. I'm very toasty under here. This is a summer sleeping bag. It's very lightweight. And it's got a good shell on it. It's got this G-loft. But yeah, it's comfy as a quilt. It's nice. Right, the plan today is to just chill out. I was going to show you around the tent. You can already see the vestibule. I don't know if you can make much out in the vestibule, but it's huge. It's the exact same size as the inner tent that I'm in now. So if you think I'm fully stretched out, not touching the walls, maybe just a tiny bit at this end. So there's actually even more room out there. So if it was good weather, or even an emergency, whatever, you could sleep another 2 people easily there. I mean, 3 at a push. You could fit 3 in here at a real push, but it's a 2-person tent. You could fit another 2 people out there with a ground sheet, no problem at all. That's how big this whole thing is. 4 people, no problem. If you took this inner out, yeah, tons of room. What I can see are sandflies everywhere outside of this inner tent. So I'm kind of dreading that. No moisture at all. I left the door, as you can see, the door is open outside. This has got a nice big mesh bit here, and there's another mesh bit at the top over there. So the airflow was good all night. No moisture at all, no condensation at all. Everything is bone dry, which is amazing considering it's been on and off raining all night, and we camped right by a river. Good airflow with the door open. So again, it's crucial to have a tarp. Right, I think it's time to get up. It is 7:45. Time to get up, get myself together, tidy some things up, and get a coffee on. Boy, do I need a cup of coffee. Okay, I'll come back to you when that's all happening. Welcome back. Let me give you a little tour of my camp. Winds just started picking up. So I've got my 4x3 meter 3F UL tarp secured, tied off. Quite a few different pieces of paracord. Tent. That beeping, in case you can hear it, is my Garmin InReach telling me I've got a message. There's no mobile signal here, so everything's done via satellite. My fire pit, my Trangia, my wood that I collected last time and I've started splitting, my big camera for filming. The tent is a tunnel tent, again by 3F UL. There's my tarp setup. It does the job, keeps me bone dry. Again, it's a 4x3 meter tarp. I've got lengthwise over the top.
and the rain isn't pooling. It's all coming off beautifully. The tent, I'm really impressed with it. Very comfy, great airflow. I've got a 4-season inner. Show you that. So there's just one piece of mesh and the rest of it is solid. Now there are sandflies everywhere, so I'm not going to open that up. Plenty of gear for 2 people. Plenty of room for 2 people. The vestibule is exactly the same size and it is enormous. Look how far back that goes. I wish I had Bruce with me. If I had Bruce with me, he could sleep out here, no problem. You could actually fit 2 people full length here, no problem at all. So if it was perfect weather, you didn't need the inner tent, you didn't have any midges, you could have 4 people in here very easily. I don't know what it's like in the wind or heavy rain. I'm assuming it's good. I've looked at all the seals. The seam sealing it seems very, very good. Very thick. So you've got my backpack there, everything drying. And it comes with this ground sheet, which is meant to go under the main tent, but I think it's actually more useful out here in the vestibule. So yeah, that's the setup. You can see there's a good sized gap between the outer tent and the inner tent. Good sized gap, so it's not going to touch, and it connects directly to the inner where the poles are. 3-pole system. 1, third one here, second one there, third one there. It's very solid, but it is not self-supporting. You do have to stake it down at the ends here. 1, 2, and then 3, 4 at the other end. And there's 2 vents. So yeah, this is my setup. I'm using a walking pole here because I had one with me. And then I actually cut a stick, a pole, and that's holding this end up. This is my gear, my Tops Tahoma field knife. See how big that is, and I've got big hands. That is a big knife. Brilliant knife. Put that back in its slot. There you go. And that is my view. Well, excuse the dish rag here. That's necessity. Gotta do the dishes. That's my view. This is the Mole Stream. Nelson Lakes National Park. Look at that. So plenty of fresh water, very clean. That's my setup. No overhanging dead trees. There's a couple of dead trees back there though. Good for firewood. So yeah, hope you like it. Coffee time. Gonna have a bag of coffee. Jed's coffee bags. It smells fantastic. It's definitely slower boiling on a Trangia than a modern butane system. Butane must give off just a lot more energy. I can hear the rain just starting to come now. Oh, it smells so good. I hope you can hear me okay. I've got the cover on the camera because it's raining. You're probably picking up the raindrops. It's meant to be getting heavy today. A couple of inches. But I'm okay. Under my top, this is all perfect. Didn't move all night. Worked out really well. It's a great setup. Yep, happy. I'll give you a run through of the sleep system later. It wasn't a great success, but it was okay. Hammock is just so much more comfortable. But I'm glad I'm in this because the amount of midges, sandflies that are around, they would have got in the hammock. Even with the bug mesh, when you open it to get dressed, they'd have got in. Whereas in here you can get dressed with the bug net closed. And I've got so much room to spread out here in the vestibule. Just makes it worthwhile. It's starting to come down now. You probably can't pick that up on the camera. Steady rain now. Usually I have black coffee, but I think I'll treat myself to some condensed milk. got bacon and egg for breakfast. I could either cook it all in the Trangia or have a fire to cook the bacon on. I don't know which to do. I think I'm going to cook it all in the Trangia. Save the firewood for tonight for my steak, because I don't fancy getting more firewood. It's a nice temperature. It's cooler than yesterday. It gets a bit cooler. I've got a hoodie, the new Corinthia G-Loft hoodie that I've got to try out. See how that goes. Corinthia gear is very, very good. The sleeping bag is very warm. But a couple of points, you've obviously got to wear clothes in it, long johns, something like that. I don't know what, there's something, because the Velcro catches you feel it sharp. It's a military sleeping bag, so you would have clothes on. It's a bit tight. I'm not a big guy, well, 6 foot. I've got quite broad shoulders. I'm 6 foot, I'm 90 kilos. And that felt pretty tight, pretty constricted. As a quilt, that was much better. So that whole time I've been using the Trangia wrongly. I should have been putting, it would have been much quicker as well if I done it correctly. I should have put the burner, I don't know if you can make that out, on the top ring instead of underneath. Makes total sense, it fits in there perfectly, the flame touches. Everything seems to cook a lot quicker now. That was silly. I probably wasted a whole bunch of fuel just because I got that wrong. Oh well. C'est la vie. I was going to say, how would you use it in the snow if the burner was on the floor? Oh well, it was my own stupid mistake. But it's working much, much better now. Can you smell it? The bacon? Ooh. Smells good. Just had another rain shower. The sun has definitely gone. It might chuck down a bit more, I'm not sure. We'll see. So all I'm going to do is cook up the bacon and then mix up some scrambled egg and just stir it in with the bacon. Seems the easiest way. Broken egg. is very hot and it's spitting. So this is where you're meant to actually use the ring, the simmer ring. So maybe I can put this on. Oh, look at that, perfect. So I've got that on about half. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, about half. Yeah, that was starting to burn. Look. That's not good. It's cooking a lot better now. More gently. I think only the Trangia has the simmering. Get yourself a titanium spoon with a flat end like that. It's great for scraping. And extra long. So when you're using those rehydrated meals, it reaches in the bag perfectly. Top trick, don't add salt to your scrambled egg when you're cooking. It makes it all runny, watery. So you don't season scrambled egg before cooking it. Okay, time for the egg. Time for breakfast. Oh. So good. It really doesn't get any better than this. Maybe without the wasps it would be better. But to me this is heaven. So good. Couldn't have been any better. Now I just need my coffee. A lot of washing up to do. So one thing I've noticed is the simmer ring stops the vents at the top of the burner because you're covering those. So it doesn't cook as quickly with the simmer ring on. If you want full on power to boil water, you should probably take the simmer ring off. I don't know how easy that is to do when it's on. So I'm not sure if you can make that out, probably not. It's a lot of flame, but simmering definitely could come off. The question is how. There you go. Now she's cranking. Now you can see the flame. It sort of does this, I can't remember what the term is. I can't remember what the term is. When it gets hot, it comes through all the holes at the side. Flame turns blue. Gives off a lot more heat. Just doing it now. The simmering is great, but for boiling water, take the simmering off. Right, I'm going to have my coffee, clean up, do the dishes, sort some stuff out, and then I'm just going to relax for the rest of the day. Maybe come back to you all this evening when I'm doing the fire, or if we get some heavy rain, I'll bring you back for that. I am ready for dinner. Medium well. That looks good. Oops. Look at that. Beautiful. Mmm. Cheers. Scotch ale again. Grab a bit of this steak. Pardon me. Almost in a food coma. It's a lot of food again. Second night in a row. Don't know if you can pick up that rain. It's chucking down. Can you hear it? Bring it on. It's so peaceful with just the rain. I'm quite happy if it just did this all night. Chuck down. It's going to stop though, because I've jinxed it now. Oh, food coma. That was so good. I've left a bit of fat. Might save it for Bruce. Well, had my dinner and hot chocolate. Now I'm just going to chill out, have a cigar. It's got cold. Got this Corinthia hoodie on. I've got a puffer jacket just in case, but this should be fine. But it is colder. Cigar and whiskey. That's what it's called for. I'm going to finish the cigar, finish my whiskey, and I'll come back to you when I've all packed up in the sleeping bag. Time for bed. I'm exhausted. I don't know what time it is. I think it's gone 10. But I'm just tired. Heading out early in the morning. I'm sure you can hear the rain. So, gonna crash. It's been a long day. Didn't get a great sleep last night. Hopefully I'll get a better sleep tonight. Hopefully the weather's good tomorrow. Catch you in the morning. Night. Oh, morning. Oh. Slept better. Because I didn't bother trying to use sleeping bag. A sleeping bag is just as a quilt straight away. It's cold this morning, but I'm toasty in here, even though this is a summer sleeping bag. Get me very warm as a quilt. It's nice. And you get so much room doing that. Oh, it's 7:30. I think it rained a lot last night. You see sandflies everywhere, waiting for me to go out. So all I've got to do today is I need to get coffee on. Get a coffee on and then pack up and go. I think it's still raining, just gently. I don't have that long to walk out. It's been a great trip. I've enjoyed it. I wish I'd been more comfortable in bed, but my last trip was in a hammock. But you can't beat that. You know, hammocks are so comfy.
Sorry, the camera's bouncing up and down. I'm on the ridge. I've made a ridge line in here. I've got my hammock ridge line hook, hang time hook it's called, and you just connect your phone into it so you can watch TV. I'll watch the movie on it. It's quite handy, keeping everything off the ground. Sorry, knackered. Right, let's all my messy gear out there. You see the size of the vestibule? Look at that. Good look. See how big that is. It's massive. I've got so much space. Loving this tent. Although I have just noticed I've put a hole in the floor. There must have been something sharp here. So I'm going to have to... It comes with a patch kit, which is meant for the outer. But I might use some Tyvek and patch that. Tyvek's great. It's a good base. All right. I'll see. That's good. It's warmed up a little bit. Thank you for joining me on this trip. I hope you enjoyed it. The long version or the short version, whichever you're watching. Hope you like the little bit of aerial footage just to put some context into where I am. This sort of misty, foggy morning. It's my second coffee. I'm going to have this. And then I've got to dismantle everything and pack up. I'm sure you don't want to watch that. It'll take me a good 20 minutes. There's a lot of gear. And then it's a walk out down the river, downstream to the car. So again, thank you for coming along. I haven't done this for over 6 months now. Again, because of everything that happened in the UK with COVID and getting stuck and that sort of stuff. I hope to be back out again soon as well. I want to time it so the weather's right. If it's too hot, then I'm not going to do it. I like it to be pretty cold so I can justify the fire and all the gear. And I think you guys prefer that as well, judging by some of the comments. You want to see more rain camping. But you certainly got rain on this trip. So without further ado, thank you very much. Hope you're having a great day. Please click like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Love to see that, and it's a sort of a thank you for making the video, which it takes a lot of work. So cheers.